Hello and welcome to Community Crossroads. I'm Carolina Estrada, and here's a look at what's coming up on today's show. We learn about long COVID. We also hear from the Goliad Chamber of Commerce. We learn about a barbecue scholarship fundraiser, and we take in a performance by the Cherry Boys. We start off with an interview with representatives from PAM Health Hospital Victoria, here to talk to us about long COVID. Welcome to Community Crossroads.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And so, Sarah, talk to us about long COVID, and Scarlett. What is long COVID and what are the symptoms?
Well, long COVID is considered when you're having the symptoms of COVID for 4 weeks or longer after you initially were diagnosed with the illness.
And you're no longer testing negative?
Correct.
Or you're no longer testing positive?
Positive, yes.
That's what I mean.
Yes. Yes, so the symptoms can last 4 weeks or longer, and sometimes they may go through like a pattern of you start to feel better and then you regress and start to feel bad again. So it can be that up and down pattern.
And what are some of the impacts? Is there a cognitive effect?
There is a cognitive effect and functional effect as well.
Yeah, for the cognitive effects, most of the people report a brain fog where they are having difficulty thinking, concentrating, memory problems, difficulty paying attention, like following a conversation, following what they're watching on TV. It's like their mind just can't focus.
I remember that COVID fog. I have had it twice already,
oh my.
But thankfully no long symptoms. If you do have these symptoms, what are the resources available for aid in our area?
Well, at PAM Outpatient, as a speech therapist, I have seen a lot of people and helped them to find strategies to work through the COVID symptoms, giving them some tips, practicing some things that we can do to help improve that memory and attention.
Oh wow, so those resources are all here.
And then our physical and occupational therapy teams also work with the functional side of things, like building back your strength, your cardiopulmonary endurance, and just working on functional activities that you haven't been able to do since you've been having those symptoms.
I have a friend that is suffering from long COVID now, and she's going and getting, I think it's occupational therapy for that. And how long does it last? Is there a window that we've determined yet?
No, not yet. Research says it can last from months to up to a year. So it may be even longer. It just depends on how severe your symptoms are.
So let's go over the symptoms again.
So you can have cognitive effects with your memory, attention, being able to focus on your activities. It could affect your working, being able to go to work, depending on how severe those deficits are.
Especially if you can't be clear-minded. And excessive fatigue.
Yes, excessive fatigue. And then when you're not able to move as much, you do start to have that weakness as well. So your endurance and tolerance for doing activities like you normally would, like mopping your floors or doing your laundry, those tasks have to be broken down into smaller segments so that you are able to complete them without completely fatiguing yourself.
And there's a lot of mental fatigue that goes along with that. So as you are physically fatiguing, it affects your way of thinking as well.
Right, like my friend who's suffering from long COVID now, she had to limit how long we could actually talk to each other, because even talking
yes,
can be difficult. Well, hopefully people who are suffering from this are able to connect with PAM Health and any other local resources, and hopefully have some friends that can come over and just help with simple tasks and chores. That goes a long way.
Yes, it does.
Well, thank y'all so much for coming on Community Crossroads and everything y'all do to keep people here in the Crossroads healthy and happy.
Thank you.
Our pleasure.
All right, well, don't go anywhere. Coming up, we hear from the Goliad Chamber of Commerce.